All right, you're welcome on the Hot Fire Network. Good evening from Kampala, Uganda. It's Africa Mama. Not always. Uh, well, sorry, I could not notify many of you that I was coming live, and but yeah, here we are, right? For those who by chance who come across my video, my live, I apologize for not have notified y'all guys in the group, and for my friends, and for why I usually text my messenger. My phone is a little bit up and down and there. But yeah, we're going to discuss about Black family system, how Black family systems are being attacked. Actually, this is a worldwide thing, and I know it's not a new topic in the mind of everybody. This is an obvious thing that we see every day. I don't know what I'm going to do to make sure I notify guys, but I hope you'll get a notification and come through. You know, I'm saying family, black families actually, I mean, not generalize, have been attacked, you know, across the globe. This has got nothing to do with whether you're religious or, you know, not. It has nothing to do with your spiritual beliefs or aspects. And if you look at the history of Black people, family was very important. Family was the number one thing that everyone would wish to protect. Protecting the legacy of Black people starts with families. It has, if the families are not organized, if the families do not really understand their history, if the families do not identify themselves and appreciate the fact that they are Black people, then we cannot talk about unity. We cannot talk about bad government. We cannot talk about the Black hate. We cannot talk about self-hate. We cannot talk about this awakening that we are trying to do if at all families are not, you know, if at all we do not approach the family system. Now, it is very hard with the system that we are living today. It is very hard for you to extend your knowledge to a family because as families, we are very, very separate. We are very far from each other, even though we may be living close to each other. With the families, it is no longer the African or the Black people's family system, but we rather have embraced a lot of Mzungu system now. It is very hard for you to extend probably what you would call a word of wisdom to a family unless that person is so close to you. You cannot even extend this to your own children unless this child is the closest to you. Now you can see how big our families have been damaged. You may want probably to say or to extend your wise words or the words of wisdom or the teaching, maybe the counseling, teaching, whatever it is. But even if you were the father or the parents or the mom or the guardian, whatever, of those people in that family, it may be very hard for you to do it unless these people are so very extremely close to you. First of all, there is a lot of separation within families brought by religion, brought by education, brought by exposure, societies, and a lot. And this is the system that they would wish black people to live in, a system which is very disorganized, a system which is very broken, a system which is very selfish, actually, a system which does not support every aspect of Black social life, Black culture, and everything. It's against everything that signifies the Black people, both in history and today. So, if a system is, if you wake up in the morning, you are the head of the family. Let me use that word because it was that. And if you're a father, you wake up in the morning, you're going for work. Maybe you have even not seen your own children, right? You're going for work. You wake up in the morning. Your wife also leaves. The kids leave to school, and all the most time they spend is with their teachers at school. And if they're not with their teachers, they're with their mates at home. There is a maid. If they are boys, they're on the PlayStation. If they are ladies, also girls do that. Sorry, I even grew up doing that shit. But yeah. So, and I still do it. Isn't that so stupid? I do it sometimes, sometimes, not like every time. So you do that. People wake up. You don't have time to talk to your own child, and the same thing happens because this system created that you must work. You have to work. Actually, you have to work. It gives us a picture of like you have to work in order for your family to. Oh God, where's my nose? You have to work. You have to work in order for your family to earn a living. You have to work hard. But how will you work hard for this broken family? The most important thing is your family to be peaceful. But how will you work hard for these people you don't even know, the people who don't even understand who you are, these people who don't even know you anymore, maybe even they don't even respect you? At the end of the day, you're working for nothing. But this is what we are programmed to do and also believe. Time is very important, and time can only be recognized in today's system when you go for work. Time is not recognized when you live with the people you love. Time is not recognized when you don't make yourself happy. Time is not recognized if you do not follow all this system, the systematic setting of life. So, how do they program? How are you using time properly? The best way and the fast way of using time is when you're making money. And then when you look at the money you are even making, eh, crazy. Anyway, let's not look at that making money thing because that is the system we are in right now. And if at all they make you as Black people work from, because it's like you work from 8, you come to lunchtime, whatever lunch you choose, you have your lunch, and then you go back for work. The time you go home, when you're supposed to teach your people or teach your family about what you think is right, is a time when you're very, very tired. You're supposed to go to bed. You feel like you're so exhausted. You want to put your head down. You feel you're so tired. You don't even want to hear anybody call you a name. You're so tired that you don't even want to see your kids running around. Or you tell your wife, it's like, you know what, just make sure you close those kids somewhere. I just want to put my head down for some time. And of course, they do it. The next day you're going for work. Now that is a system. In Africa, You see, in history, and some people still follow that in Africa, if not for the education part of people. I'm so educated, I cannot hear my mother, I cannot understand my mother tongue, I cannot really understand what you're saying unless you're speaking in English and all that kind of stuff. Culturally, there are people who have that responsibility in Africa's system. There are people who have that responsibility. You are the father and the mother and whoever, there are people who got that responsibility. As I help you, so shall you help my child. Like I told you, it was arranged in Africa system. Like Africa system was very, very organized that everyone knew what their duties were. Oh, I don't know why my skin is irritating. I think I ate something with chili and so I guess that's why I feel like my skin is burning right here. So as you grab in Africa, we have those people who are responsible for grooming the children. With here we call them the sengas. A senga is a sister to your dad, your father's sister, not your mother's sister or something, but it was your father's sister. Usually called the singer. Your mother's sister also had their own duties and the things they would teach you. If you were a boy, you'd go to your father's brother. If you're a lady, you go to your father's sister. And the father's sister, we used to call them, we call them till today, where I come from, or actually the entire Uganda, we have one name for them. That's a singer. And then another, that's a koja. Unfortunately, this whole education stuff has spoiled the essence of the word singer. The only singers I usually come across, if you Google that word, you only see most people only feel that they are sex educators. All they can teach about is sex, marriage. I don't know why people think marriage is all about sex, because this is what people teach nowadays. But during those days, because they knew you as a parent, you may look at your child like, I'll teach my child later tomorrow. I got a lot to do. First of all, it's my child. That's why they had to put that it is someone else, like your sister, who would teach your children. Because your sister knows, you will also teach her children. So they will take to it as a responsibility to make sure that they do this and they do this enlightening, uh, because it was their duty at that time. And like today, where we do not like come together or unite as Black people, you find relatives when they are actually not even close. You find relatives, your real brother or sister, you just pass yourself without even greeting, to the point that some others will say, even if I die, I don't want to see you. Don't come to bury me. You know, you're dead to me, all that kind of stuff, which was not there in history. Now, you know, we have seen the Africa system being attacked in various ways, um, through a lot of programs, so-called human rights, women emancipation, feminism, and all that kind of things that makes a lot of African women or Black women to feel that probably, but that has changed our belief, our thinking, different, to another thinking. All these systems, human rights, we are fighting for the women, we are fighting for, the women, basically. I don't see people fighting for the men, though. I don't know why people think women are so vulnerable. Women are so strong. They can surprise you. I think men are only strong when it comes to this. Yeah. Women are very strong emotionally. Women are very strong strong in very, very many aspects. You can box them, yeah, I know. But apart from the physical strength, women are very strong. I don't know what makes people think women are not. We fight for the women rights, so we are fighting for the women and all that. So we see the feminists, we see women emancipation, we see a lot. We see a lot, and this kind of thing, this kind of system actually has affected the thinking of Black women so greatly that at any time you don't have perseverance. That's why we have decided not to think by ourselves. That's two, because you don't follow somebody else's protocol. You don't follow someone else's writings. First of all, you don't wake up and tell me a woman should be this, you know. And like recently, I was seeing some women in Uganda, the parliament, of course, trying to advocate for women to be paid for them to be paid. Is it not this other kind of way where women divorce their men and they are given a huge sum of money, their material, their their stuff, the materials and everything are divided into two, and I think this is another way, like, but they cannot put that here. So the women in parliament who are trying to debate, like, women should be paid like every month, just like the way you pay. That means if I pay you every month, it is okay for you to say, okay, Maria, I'm gonna be giving you something later, if probably if I'm not working, okay? Yeah, and upkeep for you to be doing your own stuff. If you want to buy some things that you cannot ask, it's okay. That's okay. But there is a different thing for you to say you're putting it as a law from the government, as a law that every man who is married will pay salary of a given wage. Let me call it wage. They call it wage, not salary, but I'll say salary. Um, if you're gonna pay me something like $50 every month, and it's for me being your wife, actually, this is an African man who pays dowry, and then he's supposed to pay you salary every month because you're his wife. I saw this as something that was trying to drive men away from marrying women. But of course, these idiot feminist shell women around who don't really understand how everything works. For them, they don't even care about a Black woman. You don't tell me paying me salary. We are trying to organize the men. These people do not really care whether Black women are married or not. They don't really care whether you are living as a single mother. They don't really care whether men dump their children. Or they're going to say, you pay these people. These people are just playing their own games. And stupidly, Black women will embrace. I know they will. Because we do not foresee. Maybe we are so stupid to see how these people calculate their games. We are so blind to see their matrix. Because if I start paying you salary as a man, then I have a right. You're like my employee, okay? That means I have a right to do whatever I feel like I should do. Like I said before, it is okay for a man to give somebody money. If you decide you're like, okay, Maria, I'm going to give you something, I want to be giving you something every month because there are a lot of things you want to be like sanitary part, all that kind of stuff. So probably you want to go to the salon, maybe I don't have money at that time. So I'll be giving you this little money for your upkeep so that you can be doing some stuff on your own. That's a different thing. It's also a different thing for a government to enforce that, to be forcing people to do that. First of all, not every man has the potential to do it. Not every man has the potential to pay their wife. That means the government, in another way, is trying to scare men from marrying the African women. And for those women who are advocating for this, actually are not even married. Crazy. These are feminist women that have to fight for women, right? They're not even married. And I bet if they're married, if at all they do this to their men, but because they're trying to put something across, and Black women blindly, Ugandan women may follow that. But yeah, I'm so grateful that a lot of elder women in Uganda came up to oppose this. They said this cannot happen. They cannot support this. And well, we were waiting to see what's going to happen next. But I know people will deny this. First of all, this is a way of breaking the marriage. men who fear to marry. The next thing, I guess this is another of also promoting homosexuality, because now men will decide not to marry, they will decide to start sodomizing. Let me call it sodomizing, like the other man puts it. So I guess this is also another way of whatever trying to promote homosexuality. Because a man who is not capable enough of paying a woman salary will say, I'm not going to marry because where will I get the money to pay my wife? Yet I'll be having kids. So I'd rather do away with that marriage. I'd rather do away with marriage and probably find another solution. But now you can see all these in the name of human rights. So we have to fight for the rights of the women. We have to fight for the rights of those mothers. It is. We are creatures who are born with this. And I feel like every mother out there should appreciate the fact that they are mothers and the role and the duties they have towards their children. This is something which makes you a woman. You don't need to be paid for you to be able to carry out your motherly duty. You don't need to be paid for you to love your children. So you don't need. So what is it? If I told my child grows up and say, Mom, after all, they paid you for being my mother, so don't tell me, she'd have to run. I mean, this is diluting the entire system, the entire family system. Because how do you start telling your children, I'm paid to be your mother? I give back to you, but I'm being paid every month. So why? They are breaking down every aspect. It is a pleasure of every woman to be a mother. It is a duty that everyone, and for those who cannot be mothers, at times I see a lot of women, in sorrow, in pain. I wish I hear a baby cry. When a baby cries, what does that mean? You have to carry out some responsibilities for that child to not to cry again. So you hear women, at least I want to see a baby cry in my own house, you know, because it is pride of a woman for you to be a mother and to raise the kids. Okay? But the government, in other words, is trying to say, we are fighting for your rights as a mother, and so we want the men to start paying you salary. That is going to bring huge confusion within the system and the family system. And we also know they created a lot. The most, I'm going to say this funniest thing. Um, Uganda has got the best prisons you can ever imagine. Uganda has got prisons which look good, better than what is this here? The prisons that look good, better than even hospitals. The prisons that look good that even other people wouldn't want to leave. If you create such a prison system, that means you're creating it for a purpose. Whether you're keeping people there, I don't know. And a lot of Black communities, even in the US, actually, they create a system where Black men do not find it safe, where Black men are attacked every time. The moment I say hands up, when your hands are in the pocket and you're removing your hands from your pocket, it's a crime. And if you don't remove your hands from your pocket, it's another crime. That is a very confusing society. Hands up. You definitely have to put your hands up. But the moment you try to put your hands up, you're removing a gun. So what do you want me to do? What do you have me do? Definitely, both of the things taking you to jail or they are getting you shot. Leave your hands in the pocket, you get shot. Remove your hands from the pocket to put them up, you get shot. Now this is a system. When the father dies, when the father is taken to prison, then we start raising children single-handedly. Children who go to gangs, children who start doing drugs because, of course, they're supposed to make sure their siblings or their family, I see a lot. Black women usually do this. You're going to take your father's responsibility. So the boys be growing up. If there is an eldest son in the family, he's growing up knowing that I'm the father. I'm supposed to take father's responsibility. I got my siblings, so I have to make sure that I try to work as hard as my dad would have. And now this is a system most people living in, and this kind of children usually go astray, and they also end up in prison, finding their fathers there, if at all they're not released. And when it comes to religion, the fact that I'm not, when it comes to religion, first of all, religion defies Black family in every aspect. It defies Black family in every aspect. First of all, Black family is a polygamous family for different reasons. I'm not like somebody who's trying to say people don't want to be polygamous, you're doing bad. It is your choice. It is a choice for you to do something out of your own will. It is another for somebody to condemn you if you want to do something better. Okay, so I'm not like trying to say everybody should be polygamous, or if you're not polygamous, you're doing wrong, or if you're not that, you're doing wrong. No, if it is a choice that you're doing willingly out of your own will, then it is okay. But again, somebody should not force other people to do things unwillingly. Okay, if I thought something is better, it is better. You do not debate something which is good. So in religion, actually, apart from the Islamic religion, which allows polygamous, and actually polygamous is also limited to 4 women, and 4 women, but also it is said that their disciple had 12. I mean, is it there? The Muhammad, Prophet, had more than 4. So you can see that in religion, let's say Catholic religion, you are not allowed to marry more than 1 woman. And even if you divorce, if this woman doesn't want, you cannot marry. And if you marry, the other woman will never be recognized. And that's why people keep on saying, until death do us apart. That means you are bound to live with this person, whether this person is good or not. That's why they keep saying, in the eyes of God, you have to endure because you saw through the thick and thin, bad times and good times. What else do they say? No, through thick and thin, bad times and good times. I don't know the rest. I don't know what they say, right? But this is what they remind you in case you want to divorce each other. That means when it comes to religion, it is a do or die thing. You're gonna stick to each other even if somebody may die. It is okay. But you cannot marry another person, even if this person is giving you peace, even if it's the best thing, even they can also see. And not allow you to do that. Now that's religion. So religion says you marry 1 woman. You cannot marry a second woman. And in African tradition, they say you marry women you are capable of taking care of. If you do not have the potential of the capability of taking care of not one woman, you should not even marry. So people who did not have the potential to marry, people who do not have the capability to marry, do not marry. If you marry 1 woman and your capability ends there, you marry a woman. But if you have the potential to even marry 20 women, if you have the potential, that means no woman is going to complain. If you feel like you can manage 20, 30, 50, whatever number of food, it sounds crazy though. But yeah, if you feel that you can manage no matter the number of women and make sure none of these women complains, it's gonna be sad. You marry, you would marry, but women will also complain. No, forget. Okay, that means time. Put a little. Hello? Ati na video byonna. Mami talo. Agira duka. Anzo lero taizire. Mali. Akwenda 10. Ati njabagambirawo bajja kuteereramu bayirina nkola. Njagaluka muteerere okamba nze nkola bw'olwo. Kaale nja kuteerera. Ogambe 10%. Sorry about that. So sorry. This is not good, but I had to. They're calling my mom. That's my mom's friend. So supposed to be good. Like I was saying, so in Africa, it was okay for you to go ahead and marry as many women as you want. If at all, you're marrying for a good reason. The major purpose of Africans marrying many women had got nothing to do with you having those sexual attachment or sexual feeling of me. And that's why it was always easy for the men to manage their women. There was something more to that. There was something more to sexual pleasure, to family. You were, for example, you would be having a brother. For example, you may be having a brother, and maybe he dies, passes on, and he leaves his children. And maybe you look at his wife like, where are these children gonna go? I cannot bring these children down here. Probably my wife may not handle them well, but their mother will. So someone would, the brother of your husband may decide like, let me marry you so that I can take care of your children on your round, so that you can also take care of your own child. They used to do that, and some others would do it to have, basically towards the children, to help the other women not to, stay as widows, to support. Now, what is best if you look at today's system and the history system? Look at today's system. People will come around, you're fighting for your rights, but no one is really fighting for your rights, because you're not going to talk about today and tomorrow. Money is not everything, and which money is not even enough in most cases. What rights? Far from me, if I'm a widow, I need somebody who's going to take care of my children. You just fight for my right and leave everything there. My children to be raised without fathers. My children not to be raised with people who are giving an example. My children not to grow up peacefully with a family. But you talk about you fighting for rights of women. What is the real rights of a woman? What is the real rights of Black women? It is not we deciding to stand up and trying to challenge that we are the big, we are feminists, we got this right, we can do it better, arguing all the time about who can do what better and who can do what better. But making sure that women are allocated in families, children are growing up with father figures, even if they may not be their fathers, but they are growing up with father figures, looking at the women living happily alongside their children, because for women, it is their children are very, very important before anything else. You cannot be fighting for my right and you ignore the best of my right as a Black woman. You cannot be fighting for the rights of the children and you ignore the basic rights of children. All children need love. All children need parents. All children need somebody they will call dad, mom, friend above all. And which the rights that people talk about today cannot bring that to the lives of the children, to the lives of the women, to the life of the black people over the world. But of course, you always bring this like, we got the feminism, you have to stand and fight as a woman. What is it? Are you sure this is the most important thing black women need? Are you sure this is the most important thing we need as black people? You need to put us on a weighing scale and start weighing. Is that very important for you to weigh? Okay, Maria, you're heavier, whatever. Because it is like it. Is this the most important thing? Or because it is too overwhelming for me to assume, we are together. You see, there is women emancipation. It is overwhelming, I guess. People react to a lot of bullshit, more especially when things are very, very overwhelming. They tend not to think with their medulla. Hmm? Is that very important? What is the important issue? What is the important right that we should be advocating for as Black people? The important right that we should be advocating for is us. If I notice about the children being able to have the parent figures, this is very important. It is very important to advocate for women, whether you are a widow or not, for you to have a man to take care of you and also give her, to take care of you and your children. It is very important. I know people will be saying, who cares about that bullshit? It's okay. It doesn't matter, but it's a normal thing. You want to defy nature? It is a normal thing for a man and a woman to be together, have their children, live happily. Or don't you have parents? And these are the things that we should be advocating for. Now, women emancipation, every woman should be equal to a man. I have to get salary if I'm not working. Bullshit. Who said I shouldn't work? I have to get salary, I be carrying your children for 9 months. Can you carry a child for? But you were designed for this. And this is what makes a woman stronger than a man. But that's not important in the human rights of today. That's not important for the human rights. I don't know, unless you're being raped and maybe forced to have children, maybe let somebody pay you. This is a child you brought into this world after growing. You and your husband sat and agreed, okay, we're going to have a baby. And now after having a baby, you're supposed to pay me for having carried your child for 9 months. You're supposed to pay me for being a mother. What is that? This is the right the world is advocating for. They're missing the point. They are missing the real rights. Women and children need. What they need is a family. What they need is a family. You don't need to be on the same level. You don't need to have this emancipation if at all. You have somebody alongside you who understands you, who respects you. These are things we should be teaching the generation. These are things a man and a woman should learn. For you as a woman, you should learn. You should learn to appreciate yourself, number one. You should learn to know who respects you and how does respect feel. I'm not somebody who is always in support of violence, or people violating women, beating your woman, traumatizing her psychologically, violating her and all that. But if these women are not taught how to love, that means it may be hard for them to understand what is right and wrong and who is violating them and what is affecting them. You see? if at all women are not taught to. So you don't teach a woman, that you should be on the same level. You come home, your mom should don't ask you where you're from. Because you're all on the same level. You know, but that is it. Is my water flowing? But that is it. So rather than you teaching a woman is very equal for a man, no man should tell you otherwise. If you talk bad, bullshit, you're all the same. You're grown up adults. If you're saying shit, tell him shit. What is it? We are all grown up adults. And all that kind of shit. This isn't what we want. First of all, you have to teach the African woman how to identify respect, because some of you be thinking somebody turning into a puppet is respect. For you think when you shout at the man and probably he doesn't shout back is a respect. The end result of this call, maybe this man waking up and killing you or something like that. And some of the women being beaten, you think the violence only is about physical fighting, physical torture, but also psychological torture is involved. It is not about the money you give me, because sometimes you think it is okay for you to box me, to psychologically torture me, because at the end, you're going to give me some money and you think that money will wipe away, whatever you have inflicted on me. Society does not teach people this. And what is equality? To me, what is equality? I don't know whether people just have the misconception of this whole thing. But what is equality to me? We are equal in the first place. And maybe even women are even higher. Because women have done a lot. It's not about whoever told you that you're subordinate is the problem. And who told the African women that you're subordinate, your men are treating you like you are under them, yet you're supposed to be on the same level? No, you're even not on the same level. Because we are not even on the same level. Because from Genesis, women have done greater. And every woman who feels like we have to be on the same level, women especially don't respect men, men don't respect women, and all that kind of bullshit. It is sick and it's not right. It is sickening and it's not right. The truth remains, we are not on the same level. Maybe even women are even on a higher level. Because throughout history, we've done greater. And we still do. And every true man will respect a woman, whether it's your mother or not. That is enough. And that was enough in history for a Black woman. Respecting her was enough. The moment she was respected, that was enough. Because men knew that women held a very huge power to their life and their living. That's why. But today, first of all, they make you think that you're so inferior. Why is it even important for me to think I'm inferior? Why is it so important? The important thing is for us to identify our duties and carry our duties on. It's for me to identify my duty as a woman and for a man to identify his duties, and we are good to go. There is no time of debating who is higher and who is lower, whose responsibility is that and whose responsibility is this. It is Women's Day. Say, oh, God, praise me. I'm not cooking because it's our day. I don't know even introduce that day. I don't know. Do we even have Men's Day? I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know when Women's Day is. I just see things on social media. Speak about Women's Day. I know that kind of thing. But this whole creates threat in the mind of Black men, of both Black men and women. But for you as a woman, you're trying to see the level you stand. You're trying to weigh, how does my husband treat me? Does he treat me like I'm so inferior to him? Already that has been created in your mind. It is not for people to do mistakes, but the moment he does one, he treats me so inferior. He thinks I'm so, low. He thinks it's so above me. And the same thing is created into the man's mind. With all the thing of women emancipation, so she thinks she's on the same level. Why is it so important for you to think you're on the same level with her? The most important thing is for you to identify your responsibilities. Let a woman know her responsibilities and duties. To both of you, before even you think about your children, to both of you, what is my responsibility to you and what is your responsibility to me? The moment we identify this, there is no need of us thinking about who is great and who is not. And the world does not teach us this. Society does not teach us this. For them or the teachers, of course, I never think about women. Crazy, yeah. The children rights, the rights for the children. You try to discipline your child calls police for you. The child calls police. My dad is doing this. My mom, I don't want to stay with them anymore. You know, so a child, you see how crazy these things are. A child does not do wrong in the human rights society or system. You cannot discipline your child because a child does not do wrong. For you, a parent, I guess you're the one who does wrong. I guess. But if children are raised in such kind of environment or manner or system, then what kind of generation are we going to have? A generation that is never corrected. You don't correct your own child. And that's why people keep on saying the child is not yours. It is a government. It's a child for the government. This is the society we are living in today. We are being attacked in other ways. Of course, that is like the ones I've been discussing about is that system that we are living into now. We've got other things, diseases. You see, a lot of Africans who were like 20 from probably, I don't know which age group. Let me call them the youths, maybe. Most of them are orphans. The biggest population, actually, of the youths, I would say in Uganda, maybe. The biggest population of the youths in Uganda are orphans. Either you don't have one parent or you have another, or you don't have both because of diseases. And HIV has very much affected men. Women African women have lived with HIV for some time. They can live with HIV for quite a long time compared to men. Men die faster. So a lot of children have grown without fathers because of HIV/AIDS in Africa. That has left mothers single, has left children orphans without dad. It has left people poor. Because in Africa, usually the breadwinner of the family is usually the man. So it has left mothers with the children in absolute poverty because the breadwinner is no more, and the children in fear because there is no one to protect them. Land wrangles, people coming around to take their own land because there is no man to fight for this woman. These are the things they should be advocating for. I think my water is flowing. What is this? Hey, come on. My water has been flowing. I was hearing this, but I was like, what's that? So that is the life that we are living today in Africa. We do not really advocate for the right things that we're supposed to advocate for. We do not talk about the important things that we're supposed to talk about. But we rather focus on some minor stuff that are not even significant. And until we wake up to stop others from defining our culture, stop others from defining our society, until we stand up against other people's influence to us, is when we shall break this chain. Because you as a Mzungu, you cannot come to Africa to define the way Africa is going to be organized. You cannot come here to define our system. You cannot come here to tell us the definition of family. You cannot define family for us. You cannot come here and tell us how. Besides, loving somebody isn't something you teach. Or for you, experiencing love isn't something somebody else tells you. It is a soul satisfaction. It is a spiritual satisfaction. Once you feel you're satisfied with whoever you feel, that is okay. I may be defining love to me differently from what you define. Maybe I think love is a different thing compared to you. That's not my problem if you do not understand the meaning of love when it comes to me. It's not my problem if you do not understand how I, define family. Each people have a reason as to why they define things on their own and for a purpose. It's not okay for you to be having children. It is okay for me to have children if I want to. Okay? It is okay. It is not inferior for me. Just like it is not inferior for men to be doing stuff for women. It is not inferior for me to be on the same page with the man I'm with. I may be working, but we understand each other. It doesn't mean that I'm so stupid. I don't have a right. I don't understand my right. I'm not a feminist. I cannot fight for my own. Who said so? Each of us are here for our own different cause, different purpose, and of course, ambitions. Yeah. You don't have a right to define Africa's family system. You don't have a right to put like everybody should start using family planning methods. You don't have that right to enforce that on me. You don't. People should stop thinking that Africans are so stupid to understand. They understand a lot. A lot. Olegregama zimegasenseka. Mutoi gasensekere. Mama Lili. Mukura.
Bakambira nti binyumba ko mazi.
Nice. That massive. So that is it. You cannot you cannot tell us what to do. You cannot teach us your own. It's funny for you to come down here and start telling Africans you're so stupid to be having kids. You're so stupid to be so fat. You cannot be like that. Who tells? You mean we got no bazungus who are so fat? You mean I see a lot of them even take, pills that are going to fertilize them. I see some of them even take fertilizing pills, and they have just fertilizing pills that they take even. They have 12 babies and they put it on record. A record breaking woman who had 12 children. Why is it that it is a record breaking for you to have many kids and it's a taboo for Africans to have many kids? Because you feed us or something. Don't tell me shit. Let people be what they want to be. It is you, first of all, who want to involve yourself in Africa's, life. You bring yourself here, you want to be everywhere, and then you start controlling people like shit. Like you control us on what we want to do, on what we are going to do. Okay. But that is Amazon for you, and that is Africa for us. Thank you very much, guys, for watching Back with Fire Network. For those who watch my replay, please thank you very much, and see you tomorrow, same time. Have a have a why? Have a blessed night. Peace. See you tomorrow. I'm out of here eating popcorns. Lego. This is for my friend Jibjaba. This is for Anson Cameron. This one is for General Mosquito. I can start up a bird. This one is for Lando. What happened to Lando? This one is for Darren. This one is for Robert Williams. This one is for Ken Williams. This one is for you watching. This one is for David Davidson.